Hey there, I'm Brendan, and these are some conversations I had with my father in the final years of his life. The audio quality isn't great, the conversations aren't always momentous, but I knew that one day I would treasure the ability to still hear him talk. I've always struggled to remember sounds. I'm a more visual learner, so this is a part of him that I knew I would have difficulty remembering. After his passing, I realized that I didn't want to keep these to myself, though. I wanted the other people who loved him to remember just how funny, caring, and unique he was. This first video starts appropriately with the first recording I made of us together. It was the summer of 2020, and COVID had closed everything down for a couple of months by now. With his respiratory issues and being on oxygen, I felt like I had to go see him sooner rather than later, so I packed up my car with plenty of food and water so I wouldn't have to interact with anyone along the way. And I drove down to Kentucky for the first time. The first recording was us just sitting on his porch, overlooking the grassy fields and the cows and birds meandering around. Yeah, I don't know, I just wanted to record it just for fun. It was... Because, you look back and, look at pictures with you guys and stuff of, my childhood. Who ever knows, pictures of Graham and Grandpa and stuff, and then, people started taking videos a lot more and that kind of stuff, and...
Yeah. We never took much videos, but we took a lot of pictures.
Yeah. Well, videos were a little a little after your childhood for home videos.
Yeah. They were in between us. In between us growing up and you guys, you coming around your generation.
We didn't do many videos for us. It was so available that it lost its novelty, kind of. But I think it should come back soon. Or at least I hope so.
Yeah.
Because it's so important and so interesting, too, to just look back and see, this kind of stuff.
Well, that's like Uncle Dave and Aunt Mary. Dave always took slides, and we'd go over.
Oh, yeah?
And instead of doing pictures, they'd do slideshows, because he had a projector and everything. We'd go over, certain times a year or whatever. And he'd pull out the latest roll of stuff he did as far as upholstery or building a house or whatever, because he used to work for Duff Building and building houses and stuff, so we'd scroll through and he'd tell us all about it.
That's cool.
Yeah. And that would be the evening. Instead of just sitting around, we'd go over to our field and watch them.
Watch a slideshow, chat about what he's done.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Shoot his cannon. The cannon he made when he was in dairy school down at Montauk.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
What was it, about 3 feet long? Probably 2.5, 3 feet long.
You just shoot fabric out of that?
No, cement plugs.
Oh, okay.
About 1.5 inches by about 3-inch, 4-inch plugs. You'd make them with, put wadding in there, piece shredded, what do you call it, sheets and shit,
yep.
Cloths. Put it in there and pack it in. Dump it.
That's crazy.
Touch hole. Oh, yeah.
Man.
Wow. Man, he made one about a foot long, and he actually shot that a couple times. But
those definitely used to be more popular, because my blacksmithing instructor, actually, from Lake Champlain Maritime Museum, he made cannons, too. Little 2 foot or less.
Yeah.
Brass ones and stuff. And
it's pretty amazing.
It is. I mean, they're super simple, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's not very accurate, but...
That's not the point.
No.
It's a bang.
There's a bang, and you can see it hit down in the field. Yeah.
That's interesting. So you guys were always close, and Uncle Dave is Graham's brother.
No, Mary Alice's husband. Mary Alice was a baby.
Sister. Yeah, so brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law,
okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why I forgot that.
Yeah, because there was the 3 girls. There was Catherine, Mary Alice, and then Mom.
Evelyn. Yeah. Catherine, Mary Alice, and Evelyn. Those are nice names.
Yep. Graham's name was Rita.
Your maternal grandmother.
Mom's mother, yeah.
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 Did you meet them?
Oh, yeah.
But
They used to live with us when we lived over on the brook.
Brooke?
Over on, right there in Moortown Village. The one just where you're headed over towards the fire station, that little bridge. There's that little road that went out towards the brook, now behind the school.
Oh, that loop road thing.
It was before that, down at this end, just right there by, I don't know, what? You had the store.
Huh.
And then you
I
had
think
the
I
two
know.
houses, and then had the little road that went down through there, and there was only like 2 other houses on.
Yeah, I think I know which one, because my reference is from trick-or-treating.
Yep.
And going down that road, it's always pretty dark, except for, like, one house.
And the house you went to first, on that house, there'd always be somebody sitting there, and he'd always scare the hell out of the kids, because he'd always be sitting there, and he was made up. He'd jump up and scare the hell out of the kids, but then there was a house further down,
Yeah.
and that was Nanny Newton's, and that's where we lived for I was a year and a half when, because it was 60 when we moved over to our house on Main Street.
So you were 3 years old.
Yeah, I was 3. Yeah, because we bought it in 60. Yeah. I don't remember where we lived before that. I mean, we lived there at the, maybe that was the first place I was at Nanny Newton's.
Is that just the property owner?
Yeah,
Landlord?
the old lady, yeah.
That must have been a full house.
Yeah, it was a,
Parents, the 5 kids, and the grandparents.
well, there was only 4 of us at that time.
Oh, Becky, not there yet.
Yeah, because I was a baby then, yeah. And
How much
her-
younger is she?
10 years.
Whoa.
10 years and 4 days.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always assumed she was like 5 years younger or something like that,
Yeah,
maybe.
'cause his dad said he said, well, so I got it off the wall one last time. He said, yeah, that's it. No more.
Wow, so that means she was in 67,
Yeah.
and that means that she is now 53. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's quite the range, because Tina's the oldest, right?
Patty.
Is she older than Tina?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I don't know why. I always thought Tina was older.
Patty, Tina, John, and me.
Huh.
And then there was Joy. Joy was born in 60.
Oh, okay.
'Cause
So
she died the year that we moved over to the house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What did she die of? Do you know?
Pneumonia. Because she was born in September.
Oh.
We moved, and she was 4 months old, I think it was.
Wow.
Yeah. And she went up because she was really sick, and they took her up Doc Quinsby's up in Waitsfield. He was a house doctor or home doctor.
I remember you talking about him.
Yeah. And went up, and he said, hey, she's just got a bad cold. He says, you'll have to stay with her and take a couple days off from work. And that night they went home, and it was in 24 hours, and she died in my mother's arms while she was sleeping on the couch.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the year that we moved into the house on the street.
Then again, that wasn't super uncommon back then, was it? Infant mortality.
Yeah. No, and they didn't realize, they didn't, of course, they didn't do x-rays or anything like that, or, I mean, they listened, she was wheezing and stuff, but...
That's a cold, that's...
Croup, or...
Yeah, especially with a baby, too, like...
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Raised on a farm up there.
By the state.
Yep.
Was it like a state-run farm, or was it just like
No,
a foster home? Or
yeah, they just here. they need help. They took you from the orphanage or whatever, threw you out there, and you lived with them and stayed there. He did that until he was about 15, and then he headed out.
Out where?
He stuck around that Mortown, Whitefield area.
Oh, okay.
He grew up there, but he left the farm when he was 15 because he couldn't handle it. Oh, I can't remember his name.
One of the other people at the farm, though.
Yeah, the old farmer. He got pissed off at Dad, and Dad did something about with a horse or something like that, and he got pissed off, and Dad says, "Fuck this, I'm out of here." He started walking across, and the guy he had a whetstone, he was sharpening a saw.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because they were cutting hay or something. And he had a whetstone, he was sharpening that, and Dad swore at him, fucking headed down through the field, and he took that and threw it at him, caught him right in the back of the head, knocked him down, dragged him back to...
Those things are big whetstones, too.
Yeah. They were tapered.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Took him right out. Laid him right out, he said.
Wow.
Yeah. And it wasn't long after that he ran away. He told me he'd never work there again.
Did he talk a lot about his childhood, or
No.
just generals like this?
Yeah. That's why he wouldn't touch us. He never laid a hand on his kids. Said he'd been beaten enough, he doesn't need to beat anybody.
And so he stuck around Moortown, and
Yeah. Grew up there, and
when was his birthday anyway, or his year, or day?
he was September 12th, 28. That's his birthday.
September 12th, when?
1928.
1928.
And Mom's was November 13th, 1930.
What was that again?
November 13th,
Thanks.
1930.
1930.
Yep.
Huh. So let's see. That means in 1940, Pearl Harbor, he was 12. And by the end of the war in 45, he was 17. Because he was part of the Army of Occupation, right?
Yeah, he went over for the Korean conflict.
Him and Uncle Pat.
No, Uncle Pat was in World War II.
Okay. Interesting.
Uncle Pat was Mom's uncle.
Mom's direct uncle. Okay.
Yeah, he was Pat Casey. Uncle Pat. Pat and Grandma Casey, Pat and Rita, my grandmother, were brother and sister.
Yeah. Okay, I gotcha.
And Grammy Casey lived over on right there by the feed bag too.
Yeah.
Because she owned the bigger house.
And that's how she got to get Kilby. Okay.
Yeah, and she married Russell.
So her maiden name was Casey.
Yep. And Grammy Casey, she was the first generations of that family to come over from Ireland.
Okay, so it was Ireland. Oh. Wow, that's not too many generations back then.
3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yep.